So in this video, let's see the conditional expressions and procedures in SQL. What is conditional expression? A conditional expression in MySQL is used to perform different actions based on certain conditions. It typically involves the case statement, which allows you to evaluate conditions and return a corresponding result. Case is the example for it. Then comes procedure. A procedure in SQL is a set of SQL statements that can be stored and executed on the database server. It helps to encapsulate a sequence of operations into a single named unit. So the first one is case. The case expression goes through conditions and returns a value when the first condition is met. So once a condition is true, it will stop reading and return the result. If no conditions are true, it returns the value in the else clause. If there is no else part and no conditions are true, it returns null. Here is the syntax: select column 1, column 2, then the case keyword, then we need to give the conditions and result using 1 and then one condition, then result 1, one condition 2, then result 2. Also we need to mention else condition, else part, then end as a temporary name for the column, then we need to mention from which table, table name. So here column 1, column 2 are the columns you want to retrieve in the result. Then case begins the case statement. Then when condition then result specifies a condition and the result if that condition is true. Then here comes else result. It specifies the result if none of the conditions are true. Then ends the case statement, and as is used for a temporary name, as I said earlier. So let's go to the execution process so you will be understanding in a better way. Here I am using employee table. So now we want to find out who is eligible for senior profile considering their age. We can set some conditions for it. Like case is similar to the case is similar to the else if statement in C programming. Select employee name, employee age, then the case when employee age is greater than, let's say, greater than 25, then he is eligible. Let's give eligible for senior profile. Also, let me give another condition where when employee age is equal to 25, then let's say then he is mid experienced and eligible for senior profile. And now we'll also mention else case. he is a fresher. He's a fresher, new to company. Like he cannot participate for senior profile. I mean, he is not eligible for senior profile post. And as, let me give the temporary name as eligibility. Then from table we need to mention you can see all the data here. This is how case in SQL works. The next one is check constraint. The check constraint is used to limit the value range that can be placed in a column. If we define a check constraint on a column, it will allow only certain values for the column. If we define a check constraint on a table, it can limit the values in certain columns based on values in other columns in the row. Here is the syntax: create table, then the table name, columns and its data types, then the constraint keyword with the constraint name, then the check condition. Let's go through the execution once. Let's see the check constraint. Let's create a table called EMP, I mean employee, and inside the braces I'm giving column name as ID, then the data type, then name and worker, then the salary int is its data type, and let's use check constraint here. Check inside the braces will give salary less than 10,000. So now let's try to insert some values to it. Insert into table employee, then the columns we need to follow, and the values I'm giving are 1, then Roni, and his salary is like 7,000. When we enter salary less than 10,000, it will accept. Now let's try to insert one more value, like greater than 10,000. When we try to insert the salary greater than 10,000, we'll get a violated message. So this is how the check constraint works in SQL. The next one is coalesce in SQL. A coalesce returns the first non-null value in a list. If all the values in the list are null, then the function returns null. Here is the syntax: select columns, then the coalesce function. Inside the function, we can mention the expressions from table, and also order by clause is used. So here is the execution. Let us see the execution of coalesce function. I have already created one table called grade and inserted some values. Let's perform on the same table. syntax we need to follow is select ID, collace, then inside the braces I'm giving student name and score. Then we need to mention from which table we need to fetch the data. So here I'm giving from table grade. I have used roll number, so I'm getting error. Let's correct it. Roll number, collace, then the student name and score, then from table name, you can see here 12, roll number 12, 13, 14, 15 and collace function is given. Let's try to compare it with the original table. Select star from grade, you can see the first not null value is given, Bharti and 70. So I guess collace is understood by you people. So the next one is nullif in SQL. The nullif function compares two expressions and returns null if they are equal. Otherwise, the first expression is returned. Select nullif, then the expressions, and we need to give a temporary name using as keyword, then from table name. This is the syntax we use for nullif in SQL. So let's try to execute. Let us see how the nullif works. Select nullif, inside the braces will give values 2, 2 which are same. When the both values inside the braces are same, we'll get null. We'll change 2 to 3. Like now we'll get the first value, that is 2. We can also perform this using strings. When both the strings are equal, the null value, no value will be given. We'll get null. When we give A and B, we'll get the first value as output. So we can also use float here, 2.3 and 2.3, we are getting null, and if I say 2.4, we'll get 2.3 value. So this is the nullif function. The next one is wave. Wave in SQL. Wave is a virtual table based on the result set of a SQL statement. A wave contains rows and columns just like a real table. The fields in a wave are fields from one or more real tables in the database. We can add SQL statements and functions to a wave and present the data as if the data were coming from one single table. A wave is created with the create wave statement. You can see the syntax here, create wave, then the wave name as select, then the column 1, column 2 from table name, then the where condition. Here wave name is the name you want to give to the wave. Then column 1, column 2 are the columns we want to include in the waves. Then table name, as you know, the table from which we are selecting data. Then where condition is optional condition to filter the data. So let's go to the execution to execute it. So let me use employee table to perform view. Select star from table employee. You can see the data here. Now let's give wave keyword, create wave, new wave as select star from table name. We are getting error because I have already used new wave name. So let's change it to new wave 1 as select star from employee. Then select star from new wave 1. You can see the data here. Now let's create another wave. Create wave, another wave 1 as select star from table name. Where we want only the 3 datas. So ID in 1, 2, 3. The row is affected. You can check it now by giving the syntax select star from table name. That is another wave 1. You can see the data here. So you have seen the wave in SQL. So the last one is window function in SQL. Window function. Window function makes a calculation across multiple rows that are related to the current row. Here is the syntax. Select then the column name 1, then the window function within the braces column name 2. Then we need to use over keyword inside the braces and inside the square braces we need to do partition by the column name 1 and order by column name 3, and also alias we need to use, and also from table name. So you might be thinking, what is this? Here is a brief about it. Window function, it is an any aggregate or ranking function. Column name 1 is column to be selected. Column name 2 is column on which window function is to be applied. Column name 3, column on whose basis partition of rows is to be done. New alias is the name of new column or the temporary name. Then the table name, name of our table. So here is the execution process. I have created table orders here, which is having order ID, order date, and order total. Let's say we want to calculate running total from this table. Running total is nothing but when we add 100 and 250, we get one value. In the same way, when we add 100, 250, and 80, we get one value. And when we add all 100, 250, 80 plus 10, we'll get one value. That is called running total. Let's follow the syntax of window function here. We are using window function here to calculate running total. Select order ID, then order date and order total. Let's use sum function. Inside the braces, order total. Then we need to follow the same syntax which we have already seen. Over, inside the braces, ordered by order ID, and ascending order. Then we are using as keyword here. Running total is the temporary name from the table orders. Then again we are mentioning order by keyword here, order by order ID, as in ascending the order. You can see here running total. As I already said, 100 250 is 350, 100 250 plus 80 430, 100 plus 250 plus 80 plus 10 is 440. So now we have gone through all the case, check constraint and wave, and also nullif, and also the window function. I guess you have understood it. So now I'll end this video. Thank you.